Hey Cornerstone, Pastor Phil here. I'm bringing you the fourth in our first series of Genesis videos, looking at the very essence of creation. I apologize for the delay in getting these out to you guys. My family had a quarantine a week. Things have just been, well, as you well know, things have been pretty crazy in general the past few weeks. So that's kind of why I've been delayed. I want to talk today not necessarily about creation, but about how we read Genesis, how we read Genesis 1 and 2, and how we as a people, as the people of God, how we're to view creation. Because we don't look at creation, we don't look at the present, we don't look at the past like the rest of the world does. We have to look at what has been and what is, and what all through the lens of what is coming. Because, see, we know the ending as well as we know the beginning. Now, I'm not saying we know them perfectly well. Like, we don't quite know the whole process God did in Genesis, and we don't quite understand all what's coming in the end. But we know the beginning, in the beginning, God. And we know the end, and it ends with God. See, I started the series off talking about how we begin with God. We start with Him. In the beginning, God. He is the center piece of the story. He's the story's author, the story's main character. It's all about Him. I'm bothered sometimes how we talk about God's plans for our lives in the church sometimes. And this is not like a major critique, because I think it's just, we need to understand something. God, yes, has a plan for your life, but His plan essentially focuses on you getting on the script and following His plan. His plan for your life is for you to align your life with His plan, and His plan is huge and it's incredible, and we all play a small but important part of it. But it's His plan, it's His story, it's all about Him. He creates the garden, He creates us. He paves a way for our return after we have fallen and we have failed. It's His love that sends Christ. It's His power that raises Christ. It is His love that saves us. It is His Spirit that sustains us. It is His incredible work within us that makes us more like Jesus. So we begin with God. We exist with God by His power, and we are going to end with God as well. We are to view all of human history through this lens. We are to always look at the beginning with the end in mind, to look at the present with the end in mind. We serve a God who exists outside of time, for He created time. He transcends time. And so our perspective must be influenced by this timelessness that God exhibits. Dietrich Bonhoeffer has, in his book on Genesis, has this incredible quote. It's extensive, so I'm going to read it to you guys, and it's very long, but please follow along with me if you can. The Church of Christ witnesses to the end of all things. It lives from the end. It thinks from the end. It acts from the end. It proclaims its message from the end. The church speaks within the old world about the new world. And because it is surer of the new world than of anything else, it sees the old world only in the light of the new world. The Bible is, after all, nothing other than the book of the church. It therefore needs to be read and proclaimed wholly from the viewpoint of the end. In the church, therefore, the story of creation must be read in a way that begins with Christ and only then moves on toward Him as its goal. Indeed, one can read it as a book that moves toward Christ only when one knows that Christ is the beginning, the end of our whole world. Church, we are to live from the ending. We are to live from the end of the story. Now, I'm not sure, maybe you haven't heard, but the ending is awesome. I mean, just follow along with this. Revelation 21 says this: "Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and there was no longer any sea. I saw the holy city, the new Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride, beautifully dressed for her husband. And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, 'Look, God's dwelling place is now among the people, and He will dwell with them. They will be his people, and God himself will be with them and be their God. He will wipe away every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death, or mourning, or crying, or pain, for the old order of things has passed away. He who is seated on the throne said, I am making everything new. And then he said, write this down, for these words are trustworthy and true. God is making all things new. We can trust that. We can believe that. Those are the truest words that we have to hold on to. The God who made everything in Genesis is going to remake it all according to Revelation. And he's going to put the world that he originally made, and he's going to make it right. The world that we have soundly ruined. He is going to make right. And it's our job to live now in light of that fact. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean we can go ahead and just wreck this place even more because we know God's going to fix it? Absolutely not. Because we are children of a glorious Father, and we want to live as our Father lives. We want to do what our Father does. And so we are called now to live from the ending by working to renew this broken world. Well, but Pastor Phil, God's going to fix it all. I know. And I want my Father to find me doing the work that he himself has chosen to do. So when he comes, he can finish up. He can take my meager effort and surpass it in a second. But he'll know that I was trying to do the very thing that he himself has proclaimed that he will do. I was trying to be about my Father's business. And that's my goal. And it's my goal for you guys as well, that we would live from the end of this. We'd live from the end of the story, and we would bring a part of that ending. We bring that renewal to earth right now. As God was renewing us and restoring us, let's focus on renewing and restoring this world. Let's do the good works that God's called us to do. Let us proclaim the message of Christ's sacrifice and his abounding love for all of humanity. And let's make sure that as this world heads towards the ending, and as the parts of Revelation that are pretty scary come into view, let's remind people that the actual ending is far more comforting and calming. As our tears are wiped away, let us be the ones now who wipe away the tears of the world and bring them a message of comfort and peace and say, no, the ending is coming and it's amazing. And if you will align yourselves with God, if you will surrender yourself to his plans as we have done, you will find comfort and peace in the end of this world and the creation of the new one. We read Genesis 1 and 2, and we see God create a perfect world. And then we read Revelation and we realize that God is creating an even better one, that we will then inhabit with him for the rest of eternity. Guys, I don't know what else to say other than thank you, God. Folks, I hope you've enjoyed this first series of videos. We'll be coming out in a few weeks with the next series where we look at the creation of humanity and how God defines us. They'll be coming out in the next few weeks. So thanks for watching this, and I hope you have a great day. God bless.